Novocaine. Wow.
I can't hear you.
I miss laughing gas. The dentist's office.
Can you have your tongue? Yeah, I see it. Put it back in your mouth. No, you have to let it tongue.
You have her prescriptions from yesterday.
Yeah, we got them filled already.
Life is hard, and so am I.
How are you?
Is that the Eels?
I didn't mean to throw you off.
Is that the Eels? Novocaine for the
Yeah.
show? Nice.
Boy, I met them, and I really didn't like them.
They weren't cool?
Jeremy, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Look, I'm very interested in this movie. It's called Dirty Wars. I got the poster here beside me.
Yeah.
I want to introduce you around the room. This is the brilliant John Hodgman.
How do you do, sir?
And then this is the mediocre cast of Sullivan and Son. Jason Collins is here, the basketball great. And Jason, say hi to our guest. Okay, all right.
You've got a lot of props here.
How would you like to... Oh, wait till the puppet show begins. Would you like a puppet show? How would you like to interview with a puppet about the dirty war? Okay.
We could do it.
Look, now we're going into Syria. Does it never stop? I've been alive, and my entire life we've been at war. There's never been a day... I don't think people realize this. There's never been a day when America hasn't been at war. When does it stop?
Right. I mean, I think the fact that you've got this constitutional law professor, Nobel Peace Prize winning president, really co-opting a lot of the Bush-Cheney era policies and sort of selling this to liberals means that there's a likelihood that it is going to be perpetual. It's just going to go on and on.
What I was saying before you walked in as you were walking down the hall, and he walked on down the hall. What I said was, look, brother, I'm telling you, in radio and television, you're going to be MSNBC, you're going to be Fox News Channel, you're going to be. They can't understand. I mean it. I've been told this over and over. Go left. Go right. We can't sell none of the above. I'm a none of the above guy.
Right.
I didn't like Bush. Well, then you must love Obama. No, I don't like Obama. Well, then you're a racist and you're a Republican right-wing Tea Party kook. How about none of the above? I don't want my phones listened to. I don't want my kids filled up at the airport. It's all nonsense.
No, and I know. I mean, I know that in general you fall on the more conservative end of the spectrum. I'm more on the liberal end of the spectrum. But I totally agree with you,
brother. I got to tell you, I don't think so. I think it's been so co-opted on both sides.
This is my point.
Yeah,
I mean,
look, so crazy.
MSNBC is basically like state media for Barack Obama.
Right.
Fox News was basically like state media for George Bush during his administration, and then CNN is sort of kind of mishmash. But the fact is, we have a media culture in this country that does a total disservice to our democratic society. You can't have a real debate when it's polarized in that way. The majority of Americans, I think, agree with you and me that this isn't about Democrat and Republican. We don't want to be snooped on by the NSA. We don't want Americans to be killed without being charged with a crime if they're not posing an imminent threat to the United States. I mean, these are hardcore issues. And my concern, liberals have totally checked their consciences at the door of the Obama party for these 5 years, and it's got to stop.
Hey, John Hodgman, very interested in this, apparently, taking video of you.
Sorry, I'm just collecting information for the NSA.
All right, well, yeah, all of your... that is a
textbook!
You have a tracking device there that also happens to be a phone, so that's...
I want the government to know where I am.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, just so they can protect me.
Maybe it was 9/11. That certainly changed me. Maybe it was the birth of my daughters. And I want to tell you that I am... And I bet these guys feel the same way. I mean, we're all professional smartasses. But I'm choked up with what you're saying, and I wish we could get there because... look, I had Kevin Bozeman on. He's a comedian. You don't have to know who he is. Most people don't. But he said, man, Barack's black and I'm black, so I won't say anything. Sir, they're closing all the schools in your neighborhood. 532 people have been killed. They're closing the hospital in your neighborhood. Aren't you going to say anything? Not while Barack's president. This idiocy of and what this guy gets away with. And the same thing with Bush, mind you. And we have to understand, and I see it, you were just walking down the halls. We got news channels around here and different TV stations, ABC, NBC, CBS, and the rest. And all the news is written for him. I see the press releases, and then I see ABC's Ron Majors, for example, read it verbatim. I also know that, look, these guys have to feed their family as I do. And if you ask a real question of Barack Obama or Bush or whoever, okay, any of these guys, you don't get called on again. They never ask real questions because then you get kicked out of the White House.
You know, and they have these secret blogger meetings with liberal bloggers now in the White House. And the Bush people used to do this too with conservative bloggers. But you've got all of these liberal bloggers that go into the White House. They have these secret spin sessions. Then they're playing Super Soaker Party at Joe Biden's house. You know, they actually have these Super Soaker parties, and all the journalists go there and they're playing on Joe Biden's lawn. I don't get invited to these things.
I want to go.
You know the way that this president declassifies things? He goes on Google Plus Hangout, or he goes on the late night shows. He'll go on Leno, or he'll go on the Daily Show.
How was Leno to you? I felt like he didn't like you.
No. Leno was cool. I mean,
Okay.
it was a
I watched
contentious thing.
it.
No, it was cool. I mean, Jay Leno asked more real questions than most of the White House press corps. To be honest with you.
Dirty Wars. Tell us what this is.
Well, I was tracking this military unit called JSOC, the Joint Special Operations Command, and
it doesn't exist.
We
right?
know that right, exactly. Officially, it doesn't, and they've been around since 1980. The way they became famous was the Bin Laden raid and Zero Dark 30. But this is a movie about these guys that are tasked with hunting down high-value targets around the world. And under Obama, their operations have expanded. You know, people think, oh, Obama was going to push back. He was going to stop all this stuff. He's actually expanded these wars. You know, he started bombing Yemen. Bush bombed Yemen once in 2002. President Obama regularly authorizes strikes in Yemen. And you know what I found when I went there? We're actually making more new enemies than we are killing terrorists in these countries. Because when you kill innocent civilians, you give their families. Imagine if someone did this to your family.
Oh yeah,
they're in pursuit of a bad guy, and boom, they wipe out your family. Are you going to accept that they're collateral damage? No, you're going to say, I want to find the people that did this and hunt them down. It's no different for people from Yemen, Afghanistan, Somalia, elsewhere.
Jeremy, what is the God? You're fascinating to me. What is the end game? I just don't see what the end game is. Is it just
comedy?
I mean, some come on here and say it's
Twitter lives.
Stand-up comedy.
It's TBS's Sullivan and Son, 10 o'clock on Thursday. If you watch that, everything will be fine.
Some come on and say it's a new world order, that they're trying to all ships sink. They're trying to lower everything, level the field, and then they control everything.
We're Americans, so I think we have to focus on our own government. We need to get rid of the jackals on Capitol Hill. I mean, this is what I think is interesting about the rise of the Tea Party. And although I have major disagreements with much of what they stand for, the fact is people realize the corporations are in control of our politicians. They're helping to drive the decisions, the votes, everything.
Yeah.
These guys are lazy. They're out to lunch. Whether you're right or left in this country, the politicians are doing you a disservice.
Mitch McConnell and all these guys, Harry Reid, left, right, they're all.
Look at the establishment Democrats and liberals standing in defense of snooping on American citizens.
Look at how they went. I mean, you know, whether you agree with the Tea Party or not,
they've started a discussion in this country.
But look at how they went after him. They sick the IRS on him.
Yeah.
I mean, they tried to destroy them. Right. Anything that springs up. Look, I was backstage at when I was on the Morton Downey show. I had the same lesson. I believe it was Larry Moore when the shuttle blew up. We had a school trip. Remember the shuttle?
Yeah, of course.
Disaster. And I remember they were all crying on TV. I'm a little kid. And they went to break, and they said, no, a Bud Light. And everybody started laughing. They were crying. It's all fake. It's all a facade. And when you hang out with these guys, it's like Hulk Hogan and the Iron Sheik. They're buddies. The left and the right, there is no battle going on, folks. Yeah. We're being sold out, so none of the above.
Right. I mean, so I think, the only Americans at any given day that have to think about these wars are people whose loved ones are deployed in the military. That's not right. And how many politicians have their loved ones deployed overseas and in a danger zone?
Why are we doing Syria? Mm-hmm. What are we doing?
This is a total fool's errand. I mean, somebody needs to wheel Grandpa John McCain back into reality. He's calling for us to arm these rebels. We don't even know who they are.
Right.
Look what happened in Libya. I'm one of the few people on the left who has said there actually is a scandal there. We need to know how our ambassador was butchered in Benghazi. Why was that consulate not secured?
The Honorable Hillary Clinton is coming to town. The Honorable Hillary Clinton. Our ambassador was gang raped and killed. And, and there's been a lot of lying going on. I don't care if you like Obama and Hillary or not. There's been a lot of lying. John, you're so into this. Do you have a question? I want to give you a chance to host here.
Oh, sorry. I was just taking a little nap. No.
It's
it's fascinating. And the thing that we were talking about earlier.
You're not blind, so you lied to us.
Yeah, no, excuse me.
You can see.
But the problems feel so intractable. And it is hard to imagine how can we take back power from corporations. How can we break that deadlock of power?
Yeah.
You know, when Ahmed Ahmed was asked, what about Egypt? What can we do there? And he said Twitter lives, and Mancow gave him a bunch of junk for that.
Yeah.
But in a sense, it's like, yes, we are being constantly snooped on, and we're being tracked by our own devices. But these devices are also the things that are allowing people to connect each other.
Yeah, you can
to
go
do
off the grid if you want
activism.
to. I know people off the grid. Like, you can do that.
The revolutions in Egypt literally happened because of Twitter,
and that's why they shut it down.
All right.
So these technologies go both ways.
It happens because it never rains there.
Speaking
and
of
people are really bummed out.
And you know the bad part will be when social media is constricted and shut down.
I thought he was blind. All right.
No, well, he took the scales fell from my eyes when Jeremy was talking.
What does this what does this group do? We got to end here. We're running out of time with you. Dirty Wars.
Well, there's two sides of it. One is that
this secret army that you found.
One side of it is that they actually are taking out terrorists, and they're we look at the Osama bin Laden raid. That they hold that up as a success. We also tell the stories of how we're backing warlords in Somalia, putting them on our payroll, inside of Yemen, doing what are called kinetic operations, and then in Afghanistan, hundreds and hundreds of night raids a week. And it's like, I don't know a single friend in the military who understands why we're in Afghanistan anymore. No one wants us to be there.
Same thing.
They're fighting us only because we're in their valleys.
It's a ghost war.
And is it worth? Who wants to be the last American to die in that war?
I got to wrap it up, Jeremy. I could spend hours with you. Listen, when I went to Turkey, I got the evil eye, and the evil eye. My evil's bigger than your evil, and it seems to be a Mideast thing. My evil. I got to get a greater evil to fight your evil, and of course, I just say reject evil.
But look at it from their perspective. Why they view the.
But what are we siding with over there? What are we side? We armed all the Libyans. We're arming the Syrians.
Syria, well, remember
shoulder to air missiles.
Oil and gas.
In Afghanistan.
Oil and
Who did we
gas.
arm in Afghanistan through the 1980s? Whose side was Osama bin Laden on in Afghanistan
Our side.
during the 1980s?
Brother,
we're looking at this
the end of Rambo 3. We saluted the brave Taliban, right? We armed. Noriega was our guy. The Shah was our guy.
I mean, there's a term for this. It's called blowback, and it'll come back around and hit us if we don't wake up.
Stop rewarding evil. Stop. Yes.
Classic blowback.
Classic blowback. All right,
Textbook
Jeremy,
blowback.
Congratulations
Thank you very
on
much.
Dirty Wars.
Thanks for having me.
And did you think you and I would ever reach common ground here?
I most certainly did not. In fact, right after 9/11, I would watch you on Fox, but I never thought I'd be standing with you and a woman in a bikini.
Listen.
And the cast of Sullivan and Son on TBS every Thursday at 10.
John Hodgman, Ragnarok. It's going to be on Netflix coming up this Thursday. Listen, quickly. I was live on the Fox News channel when the second plane hit, and they cut away from me. But they went to my hit as that first plane hit. The first plane had hit, and the guys on there going, well, it's clearly a cloudy day and an accident. And I said, there's not a cloud in the sky. It's not an accident. And cut. I don't know. Do I think it was a setup? No, I don't believe the 911 conspiracy guys. But what are we into now? Total war, nonstop, big business, isn't it? Coming up, what's trending on the net? The movie is Dirty Wars.
Wait a second. Can you take your hat off for 1 second? Dad, it's me.
I think you got me confused with somebody else.
No confusion. The DNA tests right here. The results came back positive. You are my father.
No. You got me mixed up with somebody.
Please, Dad, don't do this to me.
You got me mixed up with somebody else.
Please.